Hello, I'm Elizabeth Berry. Welcome back to our Lead by Example course. We've taken charge of our theories. We've delved into the methodology and the philosophy. We've learned a little bit about going within and about synchronicity. Now we're going to take everything that we've learned and learn how to use it, acquire more of it, and activate it within our relationships. The idea of being a world-class kind communicator not only transpires with your within and how you feel about yourself, but it also is a big part of how you interact with other people. And relationships are a big part of all of our lives. So as you learn to lead by example through the methodologies, the theories, and the philosophy in this book, I ask that you tap into the opportunity to use them. Use everything, every tip, every practical and tactical piece of advice that you've learned in your relationships. Now, relationships can be wonderful. They can be a loving expansion of the soul, but they can also be a downfall with a lot of stress. There are various tools and tips to sharpen your discernment within the course of learning about the Kind Communicator Philosophy, how to speak, how to listen, and how to lead by example. But ultimately, it's the way that you connect with others that provides this direct link to what's going on inside of you. This learned skill of activating kindness and compassion and empathy with other people, especially when they're not acting in their greatest strengths towards us, it definitely takes a little bit of time. However, our relationships are an ability for us to, again, go back to messenger mindset theory and recognize how much we're a messenger for other people, and people are a messenger for us in our lives. We're also a teacher for people, and we're also learning from everyone else. The results of this work, and in this section in particularly, can lead to a happy and healthy life. Now, what I've done is I've outlined 7 relationship types to help you practice the tools located in the Kind Communicator Philosophy. Practice the tools with your breath work. Practice the tools in the understanding of how your interior is reflective of your behaviors. How you lead by example with people and how you interact with others ultimately leads to your legacy. So a part of this course is an enormous opportunity to examine your patterns, examine how you may allow, which I equate to just being one with other people's demands or controls. If you're allowing people to steamroll you, if you're allowing people to speak to you in unnecessary ways, then this is a pattern and it's a habit, and it can be fixed with a little bit of personal and self-development work. If you remain willingly in unhealthy relationships, unhealthy jobs, unhealthy situations, this is a great time to understand your fears of speaking up. What is holding you back? What is the avoidance that's there? What can you do to shift your ability to create boundaries in your life? Now, as we go through each and every relationship type in this section, I want you to find clarity versus vague despair. The 7 relationship types they're just such a beautiful way to encapsulate the Kind Communicator Philosophy and the 3 theories. They help you become a world-class communicator within your network and way beyond it. And for fun, I've added some shapes with the relationship types so that you can remember them well. You can use them creatively in the future when you say, oh my gosh, that I'm involved with a circle, I'm going to stay closer. That person's a square, I need to recognize that. So this is a chance for you to get a little creative in your self-development, knowing that it's not so hard and it's not so bad to learn more about yourself. So let's start with relationship type 1. This is your relationship with life. Your relationship with life. Relationships with life are like a constant awakening where we have plenty of chances and choices to slow down. Our relationship with life is a chance to find gratitude in the moment, to realign with your purpose. You are not your past. Your future hasn't happened yet. So please stay focused and stay present. Align with what is, which is reality, not emotion. Remember, going towards a persona that kindly and thoughtfully responds, you're going away from the emotional reacting. Where you were last year is not today. Life will regularly hold out its hand to greet you. Don't miss the chance to reach back and discover your ultimate destiny, your ultimate ideal sequence in the ever-changing landscape of what is, which is to be where you're at in the very moments of life. The shape that equates to a relationship with life is the diamond. So the diamond shape relates to your relationship with life, that no matter how many edges you have or how many years it takes for you to create the carats of who you are priceless. You are priceless, just like a diamond. Are you happy about your life? Are you pleased with where you're at? Would you like to change? Would you like to keep going in any sort of way with your life? So this is a chance for you to really look deeply at your relationship with life and see where you're at, focusing on the present. Relationship type 2 is your relationship with yourself. This is like getting to know yourself. In the Kind Communicator Philosophy, I mentioned that in this course and in the book, you're going to have a chance to like yourself just a little bit more. The more that you know who you are, the more you can appreciate all of the experiences and the people that you come into contact with. Now, although you hold various family dramas, insecurities, self-doubt, baggage, or societal pressure, politics, religion, you also have greatness within you. You have talent, you have consciousness, you have total uniqueness, you have confidence and love. The more that you learn about who you are, the better you will feel throughout your life. Daily basis, daily rituals, daily presence, daily lifestyle, more mindful years. Who are you on this earth? Remembering that when you get to learn about who you are, you get to see unfamiliar occurrences, any sort of difficulties as tests. They do not have to drag you down. You don't have to let them drag you down. You will experience discomfort, but the more truth that you seek from every uncomfortable circumstance or tragedy or hardship, the more personal growth that you will feel. I've learned that the more I've gotten to know myself, especially through tragedy and hardship, the more I realize that I don't want to be around certain people anymore. And I want to have my circle smaller, and I want to know myself on a deeper level. You may want to quit your job. You may want to follow your heart. There are all of these elements that come into play when you start to learn about who you are. This is called knowledge of the self. It delivers this independence and learning that past regrets can be learned and owned with grace. Again, finding that vulnerability scale. Learning about who you are keeps your searchlight lit, turning that searchlight inward. The star shape. So think of a star in the sky. It aligns with the relationship with yourself as a reminder to shine who you are. So who are you? Do you want to learn more about yourself? Which areas of your personality are willing and ready to shine brighter? I'd like for you to think about that and then act upon it as this relationship type. Relationship type 3, these are the good ones. They're the relationships that you appreciate and you want to be in. These are kindred affiliations that must be nurtured and taken care of, like watering of plants, friendships, kinships, mentorships, acquaintances that have this ability to empower you to feel confident, heard, safe, and whole. These are keepers. Now, the older you get, the smaller your circle gets. And when everyone feels like they're safe around you, when everyone feels like they can be who they are, that's when this relationship type becomes fun. The connections that sanction you to feel loved and whole. This is like a healthy ecosystem. So keep the good-hearted souls with you on your life journey. The best shape to define relationship type 3 is your kindred relationships is the circle shape. It relates to this continuous cycle, this never-ending love, this never-ending positive air, this never-ending breath of cycling, smiling spirit, relationships that are perpetual and everlasting. Keep them around, keep them around, right? Take a moment to journal about all the people in your life, all the acquaintances that you have in your life that you like, and start to think, do I need to reach out? Do I need to write them a letter, send them a card, call them up, send them a text. This is a beautiful chance to rekindle some of the good people in your life and know that having them around is going to elevate you, especially in your leadership style. Relationship type 4 is the relationships that you have to be around. These are kind of sticky and icky. These are the typical relationships that you have to be around, notably in an office or in an in-law situation, neighbors, certain family members or groups that you're kind of like on the rocks with, right? These are unavoidable. You don't necessarily have to feel good around them, and you kind of feel a little uncomfortable. Sometimes there's a wolves in sheep's clothing sort of scenario where people you weren't in liking with became different, or they changed and they're not who they once were and they're mean. Now, the more time you spend with the people in this relationship type, the more negativity, the more weight you're going to bear, the more stress, the guilt, the yuck you're going to feel. So boundary setting is a requisite. Please, please, please limit your time and keep your energy in good spirits while you're keeping your safe and healthy distance with this type of relationship. The shape that I can equate to with relationships that you have to be in are the square. Sometimes because you feel you're blocked in, right? You're boxed in around these sorts of people. And it also represents the boundary that you have to have around yourself if you're around people that you're not so comfortable with. So take a moment to think about the people in your life who you may need to create boundaries with, or you might need to be around them less, or you might need to control your emotions while you're around these people. Who are they? Who do you need to distance yourself from, and who can you learn from? Who can you think about messenger mindset theory about and say, oh, they're teaching me something. That's why it's so hard, right? There's always a message and there's always a lesson. Relationship type 5, it represents the relationships you're not growing congruently with. And usually this is a situation when you're in a partnership and you're growing, your partner isn't. This may hold you back from advancement. It may hold you back from passion. If someone is not as intimate as they once were, if they're not adult, mature, if they're not elevating themselves and you are, this is a chance for you to find gratitude, to know that learning who you are and how you are, knowing that if we join together with someone and create a partnership, we don't have to stay with them forever. In the outsiders, they have nothing gold stays, right? Stay gold, pony boy. We recognize that there's not this need to be together forever. So when you're in a relationship that's not congruently growing with someone, you have to be real with yourself. You don't have to be, but you can choose to be comfortable. And choosing to be comfortable is choosing to speak up so that you don't have resentment later on, right? So if you're going in one direction and your partner is going in the other direction, you can still be friends. You can still share your truths. But the importance is if you're not growing in the same way, it might be something to consider and to think about which course you're going to take. Now, the shape that defines this type is the hexagon. It's the shape that has a straight line here, it's flat, and then it goes down, and then it goes down the other way, and then it goes another way. So this is so in alignment with some of our relationships that may be growing in different directions. You might be up here and they might be down here. So this is really a chance for you to see who you're with, how you're growing, and have the courage and the confidence to walk away if need be, or to just know and share truths that you're both not going this way and one of them is going this way. Relationship type 6 is the next step to that relationship. It's the relationships that you must let go of. These are the relationships that simply don't work anymore. You've outgrown them. They no longer work. You're ready to be set free. These are the relationships in your life that you have to start listening to your intuition. This is the relationship in your life where you feel guilty. Maybe you stay because it's guilt. Maybe you're suffering on purpose. Maybe your ego is creating false chains that you have to stay. There's this habit of staying in unhealthy relationships, or if you're a people pleaser, all of these things take notice. It's time to speak your truth so that you're not suffering anymore. If you are ready to walk away from a certain relationship and you need the courage to do so, this relationship type will ask you to be honest with yourself. Don't stay in jobs or with people or partners, friends that you've lost a passion for. Can you live truly in the moment? Now, a shape that defines this relationship type is a declined plane, because it best represents moving away and walking away from, letting the momentum carry you down and away. Take a moment to journal about the relationships in your life that need a healthy, hard conversation. And if you have outgrown people or jobs or situations, maybe a location where you live, maybe it's time to walk away and healthily distance yourself. The last relationship type 7, is that new relationships are always waiting to come into your life. They're always ready to come in. They're consistently primed. We often forget that miracles occur naturally when we least expect, right? Miracles are meeting the love of your life, meeting the right person that will hire you, meeting the boss of your dreams, or having the manager that really can see your strengths, or finding a friend that finally understands you and listens to you. You know, people who are strong enough to relate with you, that make sense in your life, will come into play when the once clogged energies of people that didn't make sense in your life are replaced and they're let go of, and you get to receive more of the good people in your life. So this shape that aligns best with this is the triangle. The triangle is a strong foundation with two sides that equally hold one another up. And if you read some of my books, I call it the magic triangle. But this is where we learn about what we didn't want in past relationships, and we are courageous enough to talk about it. These are my core values. These are my core values. Let's hold each other accountable and create this equilibrium, right? That allows us to become our best self with each other and alone. So those are the 7 relationship types. I ask that you hone your listening skill sets and hone your relationship skill sets so that your desires and your focus becomes concentrated on kindness and compassion and empathy. And you have these check-in moments with yourself to say, am I allowing myself to stay in this relationship where it no longer serves me? Am I carrying guilt? Am I opening myself up to new opportunities? If not, how can I do that? How can I walk away from certain people? How can I distance myself healthily if I have to be around this person that doesn't make me comfortable? Honor your days, remembering that you are a messenger for someone and someone is a messenger for you. Be ready to bring your whole self to the table in any relationship and in any connection, and be an observer of your greatness in action when you do that. See, leading by example in your relationships is one of the truest measures of life. How you function with other people, bliss in all types of relationships, begins and ends with you. You're consistently tested by the people who come into your life. You're consistently tested by the people who leave your life. This course of Lead by Example is teaching you to not willingly stay and to up-level, to upgrade your behaviors, to speak, to listen, to act, to be confident, to be courageous, to walk away when the time is right, to truly know who you are, honestly, and like who you are as a process of the Kind Communicator Philosophy. Being true to yourself is so important. When you're true to yourself, your maturity levels rise. You open up to respect for yourself. You open up to more respect for others in this world. You know that each and every struggle teaches you about the power of your communication or lack thereof. Now, if you're around people that are not so nice or respectful, it may be a sign of their character, not yours. Remember that. By focusing on your internal, your within, turning your searchlight inward, you're learning how to keep your energy levels high. I know that difficult conversations make us run and hide, and personal mastery is really difficult because we have to choose non-attachment at that moment. And we have to have those difficult conversations, which turn into heart openers in the long run. When you start to open up yourself and you get and break through that barrier, which was a hard conversation, you learn that a heart opener is so important, and running and hiding or making excuses from it will no longer serve you in the long run, right? Relationships are here for us to build ourselves up, to love, to build family, to build relationships, to build business and friendships. And when you let fear, jealousy, gossip, guilt, all the worry and anxiety into your relationships, you recognize that you are creating a burden for yourself. You're allowing the BS stories of the mind chatter, the monkey mind, mediocrity of people, which is very heavy. You're letting that hinder your success. And as part of leading by example and being the example, you recognize that breathing and speaking and listening, behaving is a way to walk away from drama. You've learned through messenger mindset theory that everyone is a teacher for you and you may be a teacher for them. So in using this connection to our relationships, I hope that you're learning to rise above minutia, not interacting with it. I've learned a lot. I've learned so much from petty people. I've learned so much from them that I put them into my books. I put them into my coaching calls and my talks as examples of how not to be, how and why personal transformation and self-development is important. Please don't react to petty people. And don't be one. It's not worth it. I ask that you get quiet instead. I ask that you look at dramatic relationships in your life, like fruits and vegetables. So I want you to picture a plate of strawberries. So if you have strawberries or blueberries or any type of berry, when they're in their green state, they are flourishing, they're growing. But when they're way too ripe, they lack their luster, they shrivel, they wilt. Healthy people are evergreen, they keep growing. But unhealthy people are rotting on the inside. When you have a strawberry that's rotting and it touches the strawberry next to it, it rots, right? Same thing can relate to tomatoes. You have a bunch of cherry tomatoes in a dish. If there's mold on one of those cherry tomatoes in the bowl and it touches the others, the parts of the other tomatoes rot as well. This is what happens when toxic people surround you and they rot you. This is also to know if you are not nice. If you're molding people near you, slow down, take a pause, recognize, step into the kind communicator. Lastly, this is my favorite of all, we think we have to fix everyone. We don't. When you're in the presence of people who are rotting on the inside, remember that a piece of fruit that is on a tree that is rotting, it'll fall on its own. It'll plummet by its own doing, right? So you don't have to pluck it. You don't have to pick it. You don't have to tell it how to be better. We can't change other people, but we can certainly change ourselves. So when we respond and when we step into our higher self, we recognize that people will fall on their own doing. So relate some of your relationships, some of your bad relationships to fruits and vegetables, and kind of sort of makes sense, right? People are rotting fruits and vegetables. They show up as hurt people. If someone acts with an aggressive behavior, they may be rotting on the inside. And if that is the case, then how can you create a boundary? How can you walk away from that? Learning what you know now in this course and with a Kind Communicator Philosophy, how can you breathe deeply? How can you recognize that your imbalanced thoughts turn into unwavering emotions, and then your spirit may not be showing up as bright or as lit as once was? So if you're around someone that is miserable and you're realizing that you're with a square, right? The square personality is, and the relationship type is that, oh, reminder, I need to create a boundary around this person, and or, oh, I feel boxed in by them. Misery loves company, so that's the old adage. So take the proper steps, even if it's hard. You know, people are like decomposing fruits and vegetables. They're evergreen in their growth state, but when they're not so great, they have mold on the inside. And if you're here, you recognize that if you have any tendency to mold other people, if you're not so nice, or if you stay around people who are not so nice and you're getting moldy on your inside, this is a chance to recognize that this course is teaching you how to be the leader that you wish to be. The circumstances of your life do not make you, they reveal you. Your ability to live a life fueled by purpose, to be harmonious, to choose to be harmonious, to choose from saying, I will never get through this, to I can do anything that I put my mind to, especially in relationships. If you give up too easy, you may have regret. If you force yourself to stay in a relationship when it's not right, you will have resentment later on. Healthy communication comes from both sides. Never try to be the type of person that tries to beat someone over the head just to stay with you. Not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. Not everything is meant to stay. Everyone is a messenger for your life. When someone doesn't treat you right, recognize the option to change your own behavior and set the example. Be the example, lead by example. Become an instrument of your truth. Do not aim to ruin the day or react. Try to do better next time. Use your energy willfully, respectfully, kindly. Go back to the mind section of the Kind Communicator Philosophy and practice deep thinking, the deep thinking savants. Then turn to your heart for deep feeling, listening from the heart, and your spirit for self-realization, connecting to the source within you. Trying to be overly sensitive or be in control of yourself or the people around you is a very irritable thing, and it provides a sharp retort of the tongue. It creates miserable personalities with negative vibrational energy. Your legacy is begging you to think about the Kind Communicator Philosophy, not to cling to negative thoughts, not to stay holding on to emotions that are not so great. Remember, in our quantum theory of the heart, eyes closed exercise, we allowed these passing bad feelings to just go through, understand where they're coming from, and let them go. Remember, you are a teacher for someone and they are a teacher for you. Observe what you say, how you speak, how you act, how others act. Listen closely and carefully. From there, you can be the guide and the leader who lives from a place of calm. Your interior directly reflects your exterior, and your exterior is a mirror to the feelings within you. Most importantly, this is the type of work that shows up in relationships. So take stock of the people in your life. Hold on to the good ones. Create boundaries around the uncomfortableness, and walk away from the situations that you may be willingly or allowing yourself to stay into, so that new relationships are meant to enter into your life.